Once upon a time, two friends joined forces to bring you the best in horror entertainment. Brian from the north, Tim from the south, each bringing their own unique perspective to the horror community. Movie reviews, Blu-ray releases, beer pairings, games, and more. Welcome to your new home for horror. This is Civil Gore.
Hey guys, so tonight we have with us ES Productions to chat about their production company and some of the films they've created. So we want to welcome to the show Ethan Diddlemyer and Sebastian Fischer.
Hello, thank you for having us. Yeah, thank you for having us on.
Yes, anytime.
Anytime.
We love talking to filmmakers, and we did want to give you guys a chance to kind of just introduce yourselves and give you maybe your origin story, your brief bio, and how you got into filmmaking.
Sure. So we are ES Productions, which stands for Ethan and Sebastian, and we got into film. I mean, me and Sebastian have been making like little short films and stuff for the longest time, but none of them were really like anything to be, I wouldn't say to be proud of, but they weren't really like well done. Like we were just making them for fun on like an iPad when we were younger, back when we were in middle school. But even before that, when I met Sebastian in elementary school, me and him right away, it was just like we watched so many movies together. We kind of got into like horror films at the exact same time. So we went through and we watched like all of the series. Like we watched tons of the Halloween franchise, Friday the 13th, Scream, you name it. We went through all of it. And we watched all of that stuff. And then we were like, you know what? We could try to make some of these things. We made a lot of these little crappy, that's what I call it, fan films at the time for Michael Myers and Ghostface and stuff like that. And then we kind of just put it off to the side. But I mean, our passion for film and our knowledge, it's always been there, but it only grew during like our little hiatus, I guess you want to call it. And then just about 2 years ago now, I got a really nice camera for my birthday, and we were already kind of planning on working on something. And once I got that camera, me and him just started writing right away. And we wrote our first project, which was called Servers.
Yeah, which was a comedy heavily in the same vein as Clerks, the Kevin Smith movie.
It was very much an homage to Clerks, but it took place. It was just basically about servers. I'm a server, like in real life, so we filmed it at my job, but we didn't make it very far, and so we filmed about maybe I'd say 30%. He's giving me a face,
Yeah,
but
I would
all right.
go more like 15, 20.
Nah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe. But we filmed a small portion of it, and it just didn't end up working out because it was a full-length movie. We were jumping in like straight in from nothing for a full-length film, and we had all these parts with all of our friends, and we didn't really think about like time constraints like with my job and with people, because a lot of people had to go back to school because we were filming this when a lot of us were still in college. So a lot of people had to go back at the end of the summer. And then with my job, we only had like 30 to 40 minutes at the end of the day to film. So it was just very like we didn't have much time to do things, and we had to make everything like precise. Like there wasn't a lot of time for like mess ups and like multiple takes. So it just wasn't turning out the way we wanted it to. So we just kind of shelved it. But then you would think that we would stop there, but we actually, like right after that, I think we were both hungry and we both really really wanted to put something out there. So I had already written a short film, or it wasn't even written as a short film, it was written as a short story called The Natural and the Unnatural. And then we jumped right in, started filming that, and it only took us about maybe a month or two to film that. And then after that we put that out because we just wanted to put something out there. Like we were just trying to get on the map, and we did, and we got a few little fans here and there. A lot of them were people that we knew, but we picked up a few, like maybe like 100 followers, like new people. And then we kind of took a little bit of a break, but then we just put out The Wretched, and we're back in it, and we're writing something new now as well.
Nice.
Yeah, that's cool. I love you guys' story because so many people are afraid of doing something because they think that's got to be perfect when they come right out of the gate. And the only way you get better is to just put stuff out there and keep trying and trying and failing and failing,
Yeah,
and then
definitely.
eventually you're getting, every time you put something out there, you're learning from it, and
Oh
it's going
yeah.
to get better and better. And I love that perseverance, and I love that you guys are just like going for it and trying to get stuff out there. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely things when we've went back and looked at like the national and unnatural. We've looked at like we would change this if we did it today right now. We would change aspects of it. But I mean, like you just said yourself, the only way you're going to learn is if you do it and then you go, okay, well that didn't work or that did work, but it could be better. Or hey, let's tone this, let's take this out.
Yeah, the Natural and the Natural was definitely a very experimental film, especially since it was like our first real thing that we put out. But I think we've only progressed, especially since we took about a year off after that. During that time, although we weren't filming anything, I was getting to know how to use my camera a lot better because when we were filming servers, we kind of just jumped right into it. I didn't really even do much research. And then with Natural and the Unnatural, I did, but there was still a lot that I had room to learn. And then with The Wretched, I feel pretty great about that in all things, but even still, I mean, there's a few things that if we went back, I would
Yeah,
change, but that so far is definitely my favorite thing that we've put out for sure.
I think
Yeah,
servers, if it could have been done, would have been my favorite. But that's also it never got finished, so I don't know would that have been my favorite. Or would I looked at that and be like, no.
Yeah, that was also the only thing that we've ever written that was a comedy.
Yeah,
but it
Yeah.
didn't get finished yet because because
Yet.
basically what I was gonna say is that what I like Tim do. I love your story to hear that because you already have the half the battle won with the passion that you have. When you have a passion for something, you know what? Your drive is endless, your commitment to it is endless. So even though like you said, like, oh, I would have changed this, I want to change this. Well, how many times have you seen a filmmaker and if like you watch like I'm a big Blu-ray collector, so all the special
oh
features
same.
on there, and they're
Yep.
like the original short that inspired this film or the original version of this film. Even the best of the best will have those original stories that they want to improve when they either get the budget or get
Yeah.
more connections or something. So, and I watch both those, and I love both of them. Especially when you said it's funny now. It totally makes sense when you were saying that you were a fan. You was very David Lynch inspired. You were a big
Yeah, for the
David Lynch
natural and the
fan.
unnatural.
Yeah, I,
Yep.
I saw that, and now that I said, I said some of the dialogue it seems very familiar, and it seemed very Kevin Smith also. And now that I see that was kind of like someone you guys
Yep.
looked up to also, I'm like, oh, that's like the perfect mix of that to me. I like got like these Kevin Smith vibes from the dialogue, and definitely the David Lynch stuff. I mean, you got a
Yeah.
bug that's talking to you. That's stink bug sticking. That is peak David Lynch, and
Yeah.
it's a good time you came out with that because
Yep.
we got to see that, especially of course with the loss, which was devastating to so many
Oh,
people.
believe me, I
I mean,
was
Mm.
I mean,
devastated. I was
yeah,
visiting some friends at Penn State, and Sebastian. I texted him right away because I
Yeah.
wasn't with Sebastian. But as soon as I saw it on Instagram, my girlfriend was in the bathroom. My girlfriend is Hannah. She plays like
The girl
the
in
oh
main
all
yeah,
our
yeah,
character, the
she's
girl
really,
in all of our movies.
yeah, no,
But
she's
anyway,
really good
she
in that
was
too. Yeah.
yeah, she was in the bathroom upstairs, and she just heard me go no, and then after that, she was just like she ran downstairs. She's like, "Who died?" And I was like,
Mhm.
David Lynch,
Oh,
and she was just like, "No,"
Yeah,
because she
all three of
loves
us are
David
really
Lynch
big
too.
David
I
Lynch
mean, we
fans.
love
That
everything.
that was definitely a massive hit to the film.
Yeah, I just got done rewatching Twin Peaks again for like the a millionth time.
Yeah, Twin Peaks, I didn't watch it the first go around, and I got into it in college because it's kind of funny. Like I knew of David Lynch, I'd seen some of
Hmm.
his other films and stuff, and I remember we went to a bunch of my friends. We were going to San Francisco State. We went down. We went to go see Batman. I think it was Returns.
Returns.
Yeah, we were going to see Batman Returns again. And we wanted to see it on this big theater in San Francisco, and we go show up there. This is before the internet, obviously, and you can get like you get a movie ticket on the phone.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
we show up there, we're going to buy the ticket, and they're like, "Yeah, sorry, there's no show for tonight." We're like, "What?" I said, "Every night it's at this time." And they go, "Yeah, but we have a special premiere, Fire Walk with Me, the Twin Peaks
Ooh.
film." And I'm like, "Oh," I said, "That's cool." I said, "Well, can we get tickets to that?" And he goes, "Well, it's kind of like a radio promotional thing." But he goes, "If you really want to see it, we'll talk to that guy over there. He may have some extra things." So we went up there, and the guy's like, "Oh yeah, we got some extra tickets. You want to go see it? Sure, no problem." And I went in there, and I'm like, Oh my god, because I had seen Blue Velvet at that point. I had seen a
Yeah,
little bit of Twin Peaks, so I kinda knew of it. So I was like and I'm like, "Well, this is a prequel anyway, I'll be good."
yeah,
So and floored me, and after that, I got
so
obsessed with
good.
Twin Peaks, rewatched the
So
series so many times, and yeah, it's
I have a question for you then. How was the show watching it knowing that Leland was the killer then?
see, so here's the
Uh
thing, I didn't know because I had never gotten that far in the original
no,
series,
no,
so
no, no. I know. I'm saying how was it watching
Oh!
Fire Walk with Me?
I'm
And then
sorry,
going to
Yeah, and then going to the show.
oh, I think it was I think it didn't it didn't bother me as much because I think it's just I watched it back to back. I didn't get the same kind of hype that people did, I think, when you were watching it live and didn't know what was coming each week, kind of thing. So I went in as
Yeah,
more of a love of the series. So to me, I kind of went into a different mindset of just I want to see it develop. I want to see how they figure that, how this show went on without and how it reveals it kind of a thing. So
yeah.
it was definitely a different way to see it, I'm sure.
about to say
And
me and Ethan. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, 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 it's okay. Yeah, that was what I was gonna say. That was it.
About to say me and Ethan definitely watched it. Obviously, many years after it came out, but we never knew Leland was the killer until it was shown in the episode.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Wait,
anytime we show anybody, we're like, no, you gotta watch the series season 1 and 2, then Firewalk, and then you can watch the return.
Yeah,
if you really wanted to, after Leland dies, you could watch Fire Walk with Me after
But at
that.
that point, you might
But
as well just finish the
yeah,
show.
that's what I'm saying. You might as well.
yeah.
But yeah, we're definitely, I mean, David Lynch is one of our biggest influences. I think I can speak for both
Oh
of
yeah.
us when I say that, because I mean, we've been obsessed with his work for like almost a decade now. And yeah, that was a big inspiration for the natural and the unnatural. I mean, the story, the kind of mind fuckiness vibe of
Mm,
it, not knowing exactly what's going on. And yeah, I mean, that was a big thing, the way that I like filmed stuff during that, and wrote it too. But also Donnie
nice.
Darko, another big one of my favorite movies. That was also kind of big inspiration for that one as well.
Yeah. Speaking of real quick, have you seen yet the 4:30 movie, the Kevin
No,
No,
Smith
we
latest
want
one?
we
to.
haven't. Did you see
Really
it?
good. Oh, I loved
Okay.
it. I loved it, and I think it's funny the way you guys are describing it. I think you guys are gonna really get a lot out of it because of, especially there's one scene where he's the main character, he's talking to the usher, and I think that's what's gonna hit you guys the most. That's all I'll say, though. I'll let you discover it on your own, but
Yeah,
it's
Okay.
really, really good.
Awesome.
I really wanted to see it because we've seen every one of Kevin Smith's movies except for Red State. I think is the only one we have, and Walrus.
No, I've seen. You're talking about Tusk.
Tusk. I
I've
don't
seen
know why it's
Tusk.
the
Uh,
Walrus.
Yeah, I've seen
yeah,
Tusk.
Tusk is good. I like
I
Tusk.
haven't seen
Yeah,
Tusk, and I haven't seen Red State, which is the
I haven't seen
Bruce
that one.
Willis movie.
Oh, okay.
Other than that, I think we've seen every Kevin Smith movie. I know we've seen all of his VSU movies.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But
Have
yeah,
you have you
I
have you
mean,
ever got to meet him in person?
We technically didn't meet him by handshake, but we did go to one of his specials.
he did a stand up thing at a convention that we went to, and he was walking around and everything. I mean, he walked right past us.
Yeah.
But I mean, I do have his I do have his autograph. We did like a Clerks Day a few years ago.
Oh, I
Went
saw that
to
video,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I posted the video from it. We went to New Jersey and went all around to the film locations, and yeah, it was
And
cool. We went
Chasing Amy and a few other ones that
yeah,
were in
yeah,
New Jersey.
Dogma.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it was because I was gonna say to show what a cool dude he is. Yeah, I've never seen a modern day director love to just talk about film as much as he does. Because we went to something, it was Lincoln Center in the city, it was years ago. To show you how long ago it was, Harley Quinn was in, like, a stroller, basically, when
Cool.
he was there. And that's how long ago this was.
It's
Because Tim and I are
probably
much
around the
older.
time that like Clerks 2 came in, or no, before
No.
that.
Yeah. That would
Yeah.
have been.
It might have been right before that. Dogma was definitely out, though, because that was what I was there for, because I had missed it, and I hadn't seen it yet, so I wanted to see a screening, and he was doing a
Okay.
Q&A. And so
Uh-huh.
he opened, like, up with, like, a little bit of Q&A before he showed the film, and everyone was asking questions and questions. He's like, "Guys," he goes, "I have to say, I'm obligated to show the Dogma, but if anyone wants to, like, who's seen it and just wants to come over, we'll go to the next room, and we'll talk film for 2 hours if you want." And, like, so I stayed because I wanted to
Damn.
see it, but I hadn't seen it at that point. But just to show you how cool it was, and he went in there and he just talked for hours. And we ran into him in the aisle, and he was as friendly as can be. Just saying hi
That's
to everyone.
awesome.
He's like one of the he's like the filmmaker I think people like, kind of dream it will be almost like, you love film, you get to go make it and you get to talk to everyone about it. And that's kind of what he's like
Yeah,
and
he's
is all
definitely
about.
got the passion for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So Tim, I think we basically the first two questions we kind of
Yeah,
blended
we
into
kind of
one
covered
there
those. Yeah.
anyways. So
Hmm.
yeah, you can go right to that third one.
Okay. Yep. So we kind of wanted to know, like, what's your general process when you sit down to like create a project? Like, what do you guys kind of take us through, like, from the idea phase to completion? Like, what does that look like?
So I guess I can answer. You can
Yeah,
answer.
yeah, yeah.
All right. So normally it'll just be one of us will come up with an idea. We'll call the other one and be like, "Hey, just randomly thinking about this."
It always starts
Yeah.
with a phone call.
Yeah, it always starts with a phone call, except for servers, which maybe that's why it failed, is it didn't start with a phone call. But normally it's just an idea. Then we call each other, and it's like, "Oh yeah, I'm talking about this," and it's like, "Oh cool, tell me a little bit." It's like we'll talk about it for 2 minutes, then we'll just move on. Then next time we see each other, it's like, "Hey, I was really thinking we should do this." And then it's okay, cool. We talk over the phone some more. We come up with more ideas, and then it's like I'll come over his house, or he'll come over mine. It's like, okay, let's write this thing.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it is. Like right now, we're writing one, and that's what happened today. Is earlier we were writing it, and it's all because I kind of had an idea, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, we should really do something like that." And then we just kind of just went on, and now we're writing it, and hopefully we'll be able to film it and release it.
Normally we write it on paper first, so I have
Old school, I
book
like
right
it.
here with me, and then I end up typing it up. So we normally just write. I mean, there's been times before, like with the natural and the unnatural, I wrote that as like a short story, and then I turned it into a screenplay. Um, but for this one and for like servers and stuff, we both, since we're writing it together, we just write down all of our ideas inside of a book, and then I type it up once we're done, basically. And
Have you
we
seen that program they have, Writer's Duet?
Yes, I have actually.
Yeah, because
Yes.
it's like made for you guys. Because like literally, it's like two people can write the same script and they can both
Yeah,
sign
yeah,
in and do it. It's kind of cool. I thought immediately once you said you guys did that, I immediately thought of that
Yeah,
thing.
but I'll say for servers, it started when we were like leaving Target. Like we were walking these cars, like, "Hey, we should do like a comedy movie, kind of something like Clerks. I mean, we could set it at your work like a server, and then from there it snowballed. Wrote a full length script, casted, had everything, and then never
yeah.
finished."
That sounds like
I
how me and Brian came up with the podcast.
pretty
We were like,
much, yeah.
"Hey, I like horror movies. I like horror movies. We should do a podcast." Okay, and then like what?
Sometimes it's all it takes is just one guy kind of throwing it out there, and then
Yeah,
it just works. I was about to say, Tim, is your shirt a Michael Myers like Halloween?
it is.
Halloween 2?
This was in
Yeah.
a yeah, it was
Oh, one.
Halloween
No, no,
too.
one.
It was
No,
in a
this one.
oh my god, what was the subscription box you used to could get? I can't remember what it
I
was.
thought it was
Oh,
Halloween 2 because of the opening.
It is a Halloween 2. It is, yeah. It's
I
it's
thought it was
officially
oh,
Halloween
like
one.
it's
yeah. What
officially
was that
licensed
thing?
Halloween 2, but it came in one of those loot boxes.
Loot Crate?
Loot crate,
Oh,
loot
Loot
crate.
Crate.
That's what it
Yeah,
was.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it came in a loot crate. I love this shirt. This is a
Yeah, it's a great shirt.
yeah. It's really cool.
Yeah. So we've made so Natural and the Unnatural was a feature. The Wretched was a short film. And the next thing that we're doing now that we've kind of worked, we've done things, and our Servers was going to be our first full length film, was also going to be our first thing, didn't pan out. But the next thing that we're doing is going to be our first official full length film. And I think that we are 100% ready to tackle it
Yeah.
now. And it will be the first thing that we make that's actually going to be in color, because everything that we've put out so far has been in black and white. And it also will be going back to our roots. It will be an actual horror film, because the
Nice.
Natural and the Unnatural was like psychological horror, and the Wretched was just kind of like a crime thriller. But this is going to be a full length, like, it's going to be a horror film. It's going to be a slasher film. It's going to give off kind of like 80s slasher vibes.
Nice.
And I'm very excited. We wrote a lot of it today.
Nice. Are you
Um,
guys gonna kickstart it or just
Probably just put it out.
yeah, I mean, we can do a lot with what we have, and we'll definitely have to spend some of our own money, but we'll be able to work
Yeah.
within constraints.
We always find a way to somehow make it work.
Sebastian is really good with makeup and with blood. He's the prop master on all of our things. So he's good with that. We know a girl now that does prosthetics and everything. So we're gonna work with that and see what we can come up with.
About to say the best thing I could say is it's like Halloween 1 and Friday 13th Part 6.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
are probably
very.
the closest ones.
Which are two of my favorite movies. So I like
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
some of mine
great.
too.
They're
Yes.
some of my. I mean, Friday the 13th Part 6 is amazing. Some people overlook it, but
Yeah, a
it's
lot of people
it's a
do, but it's
great
one of
one.
the best ones.
Yeah,
I think it's one of the best in the whole series.
Yeah.
yeah,
That
yeah.
I hit that one. I watched that one when I was a kid. Um, like that was, and I watched all the Friday the 13th, obviously, as a kid. But for some reason, like 6 hit me at just that perfect age where it just like that became kind of like my favorite. And over the years, obviously, I've watched all of them over and over. But that one's got such a unique, like it's got a lot of humor to it. It's such a unique entry in the whole thing. It's definitely one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we're definitely drawing some like inspiration from other things like Texas Chainsaw. There also may be like some for the killer hints of like cannibalism and stuff in there, stuff like that. We're trying to make it pretty freaky. Maybe like some Charles Manson vibes a little bit,
I
I
Nice.
love it.
guess.
But
Yeah.
I got a question for you guys since you guys said you like horror movies. What are your guys' favorite horror franchises?
Oh,
Oh,
I mean, you named
franchises.
one was Halloween, of course,
Oh,
is a big one. I
About
think.
Halloween's
Halloween's
probably
definitely
my favorite. Yeah, Halloween's probably my favorite. Out of the big ones, out of the Nightmares and Friday the 13th and those, Halloween would definitely be. Michael Myers is my favorite horror villain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's my favorite too.
He's
Yeah.
my favorite too.
Yeah, and honestly, lately, like I think the horror genre's expanded to such like
Oh,
so
for
many
sure.
different things that it's like I feel like I have to break it down, like because like I feel like it's weird. Like one of my favorite franchises too is like the Blackwell Ghost. I don't know if you've seen any of those, but like that one is like
No.
I that's like almost like a found footage kind of
Oh, okay.
weird kind of thing, and it's like I feel weird putting it up to like a Friday the 13th because it's so different. But I
But
highly suggest
you
that.
guys would like that one because it's one guy.
Yeah,
It's literally
yeah,
one guy makes this whole movie. I mean, I think there might be what 3 characters in
yeah. Like
every
his
single.
wife was
His
in
wife
there at
is in
one
it one
point,
time,
but
and there's maybe like one other guy, and then
yeah,
it's just him
Okay.
making this movie.
And
And
what was it called again?
it's the Blackwell Ghost. There's 8 of them already.
Oh,
Oh,
They're only
damn.
available on Amazon Prime for some reason. Well, actually,
Oh,
the
okay.
first one I think
Okay.
is on Tubi
Yeah.
now.
Tubi too,
But
so that's
yeah, and
Yeah.
what's weird is, right, it's got this cult following. He, like, erases everything. It's, like, weird. He's, like, playing this long game or something because, like, he makes it seem like it's super realistic, and yet he goes through it's weird. It's like and he just like, there's like, news about it, and all of a sudden, another one will release, like, out of the blue. It's crazy. Like, every year, he just comes out with one, and but it develops. It starts off literally he's hunting for like some ghost, and then it develops into this like true crime thing where he's involved in this like giant like
it's
it's so
wild.
unusual to explain. It's just like once you start, you will get hooked,
Hell
and you'll
yeah.
just keep
okay.
renting them. It's amazing.
That's fine. That's no problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll definitely have to check that out.
Yeah, that's definitely. I had not heard about that until now.
Yeah, no, neither have I.
He
So
does a
thank you for
he
that.
does a lot for with very little. Like I mean, I can't imagine the
Yeah.
budget for these films is anything, and I think that's why you guys would like
I'll
totally
say the Wretched
dig
had
these.
$8 to its name.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, I know.
I mean,
So
yeah, I gave him money to make the blood that he
and it
made,
was
and
$8. So
and
yeah,
that was
I know.
it. We
I
had
was trying to
everything
make
else.
something with no budget.
Yeah. I think horror movies coming out today, though, I'm really happy with how a lot of them are getting a little bit more recognition than they used
They're
to,
not
even
getting
by
banned
things.
as much.
Yeah, like the Academy, because I mean, like The Substance
Oh, I
and
love that one. Yeah.
Nosferatu and Alien Romulus are all nominated, and I feel like
Not that it was nominated, but like Halloween 2018.
oh, that's a great movie.
That was a movie that wasn't bashed by critics or anything. Because it used to be like horror movies that come out and be like, oh, those are just cheap movies that have nudity. That's how it just used to get dismissed. But now you're seeing a lot of people actually take them seriously.
Yeah, and with The Substance, like that's a good example. I feel like that movie does a really good job of making something that is, I mean, there's so many like references and homages to great things in there. Like you have lots of David Lynch, you have lots of Stanley Kubrick, you have a lot of like, I mean, there's even like shot for shot references for certain things. And
Hmm.
but it still finds a way to like make it its own thing and make it good. And I feel like that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to take inspiration and like pay homage to certain things, but still make something that is new in its own way.
Yeah, no, and the funny thing I wanted to say about the budget. So we talked to we were at I think it was New Jersey HorrorCon, and Joe Bob Briggs was
Hmm.
there doing he
Yeah.
had a panel, and he was saying, like, he said, he goes, you know what, he goes, the one thing he hates is when people will say, oh, you know what, they didn't have a budget, that's why it was bad. And he goes, no, it's not the budget, it's your script was bad. It's like, he goes, you don't
Exactly.
have to have a budget to make a great movie. And
No.
like, so
See,
it's
Yeah.
like,
yeah, that's
it's
the
like,
thing. You just have to think about a lot. And yeah, I mean, there are certain constraints, but there's
Oh,
ways to work around those. And that's kind of what we didn't realize when we went into servers. And that's kind of what we're
scheduling is
working with.
probably the number one
Scheduling
problem that
more.
we
I
did.
mean, we probably still could have made it around like without budget.
Oh yeah, it was just more. We were just too ambitious and going. Oh, we can get this done with all these people real quick. Not really going.
Yeah, it had a
it's like
big
20,
cast.
yeah, like 20, 25 people. So
Yeah.
and using a location we don't own. So
Yeah.
there
But
was a lot of ambitiousness, not really thought out.
But you learn
but
from
see,
it, and so then
Yeah.
you don't make
And,
those
I mean,
mistakes
that's
next time.
why
Yeah.
I don't feel bad
Oh,
or
no, I'm
like
still
anything
happy.
about it at all. I mean, I'm happy with how it turned out because it was a learning experience, and it definitely, I mean, I don't think if we did that and then if we jumped into making the natural and the unnatural, the wretched after that, I don't think that they would have turned out as well as they did without having that failure.
It's like we still have the script, so one day if we see somebody who wants to make it,
Yeah.
there you go.
It's true.
you guys are gonna make it. I've confidence you
I
guys
don't
are
know.
gonna.
Maybe. You never know, I guess, right?
Yeah, we're trying.
Yeah, you'll
And
get.
we did get so I've submitted to so many film festivals now for The Wretched. I have like just for a few, even though we did release it like over a year ago now, there is still a few that I have submitted the natural and the unnatural to, but mainly The Wretched. But I've submitted to probably 60 if not more film festivals now, and all of them, like none of the dates where they tell you if you got selected or not have come up yet until today was the first one, and the first film festival that like got back to us, we got selected for it, so
Oh,
pretty
nice.
happy with
That's
that.
awesome.
Oh,
Oh, I
that's
think I saw
awesome.
you
Yeah.
post something about that today.
Yep.
That's awesome.
It's the indie film awards, I think it's called. There's so many that we submitted for. There were a few that were just like oddballs that I was just like, we can submit for that. But there's a few like big ones that I submitted to that I mean, I just did it for the hell of it, but I mean, there's like the Venice Film Festival and Cannes and stuff like that
Oh,
we just
Why
submitted for
not,
just for the
man? You
hell of
never
it. Why
know.
not?
right, yeah.
I mean,
What's
worst
that
case,
one
we
that?
get a no.
Yeah.
I mean,
What's that everyone's Stagus or Stegis? What's that one that
Yeah,
everyone's
yeah,
been
yeah,
doing
yeah.
now? Yeah,
I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of my
yeah. Like,
favorite Stephen King stories. I was in one of his nonfiction books about writing was when he was talking about when he was writing Carrie and he was submitting Carrie, which was his first novel, to all these publishing houses.
Yeah.
And every time he got a rejection letter, he would nail it to his wall. And eventually the rejection letter stack got so big he had to take like a freaking railroad spike just to be it long enough to fit all the rejection letters on it. So it just goes to show, man, just put it out there. Eventually it'll happen. You just have to keep persisting.
Sure.
I don't know if you guys are a big comic book people or not, but that's very much a similar story to like Todd McFarlane when he was trying to get into the comic industry. I think he said he had like 300 rejection letters that he just kept, and he would just work on his art and then resubmit to the same 300 people who said no. And then if you got 300 more, you would just work on his art again and then send it back to those people and just keep going.
Yep.
see,
Yeah, and
that's
it's
why
like,
when I was saying your passion is the important part, because it may take you a while, but if the passion doesn't fade, then you'll have basically unlimited time. I think that's why Tim and I went into podcasting, because really we can just force it upon people.
Yeah.
You don't have to listen. It's out there.
But even with the podcast, and Brian will
Yeah.
tell you this for sure, when we started like the first year, we didn't have any like guests or anything. I mean, it was like,
Family was guests, right? My
family,
brother came
we
on.
had family
Your
on for
brother
guests.
came on.
But,
It was like
but
that was
as
it.
you keep trying until you get that one guest, and we ended up getting Felissa Rose. I think was one of our first like big celebrity guests.
And we had David Howard Thornton.
And we had David Howard
early
Thornton
on.
way before.
Nice.
But you get those, and then you get one in the bank, and then like it starts snowballing. And as long as you're consistent, like it keeps snowballing, because that one success opens the door to like two successes, and then the two turns into four, and the four turns into eight, and then at some point you find yourself like like now we're getting people coming to us to do interviews versus us having to reach out, and that's going to happen for you
That's
guys
great.
too. You keep submitting to these film festivals, and maybe you only get one, or maybe you only get two, but the more you get in, the more you're going to get in as
Yeah.
time goes
Plus,
on. So
you don't know who's going to be sitting in that audience.
right,
It could be
Exactly. It's
some.
all it takes is one lucky
Yeah.
festival or one person being there, and yeah.
And like I said, like anyone, like these guys, like one of these people, I could see, like in the audience that says, "Oh, I like this film. Let me talk to these guys." Once they talk to you, they're going to see what they're looking for. You could just tell because you guys have that drive, and you love what you're doing, and the fact that you keep finding ways to get stuff out there is, that's what it takes. I mean, it's like you just need to start putting stuff there, and it's like. And I
Yeah.
have to say, I think I gotta ask you a question. So about the wretched one,
Yeah.
when it opens up, I have to ask if this was intentional or not. But it reminded me of that running scene of Reservoir Dogs when he was running when Steve
That was
Buscemi's
a
running.
massive inspiration. That and also Train Spotting.
Train spotting
Yeah.
is the main one.
But Reservoir
Okay.
Dogs was very much like when I came up with the idea with Ethan, because this movie was odd. It was assigned to Ethan, not like the script or anything, just to make a short film for class. I came up with a few ideas. That was one of them. And I was like, oh, we can do a running scene kind of like Reservoir Dogs and Train Spotting. Because one shot I wanted to do, but when we got there the day of, we couldn't really do it, is in Reservoir Dogs where where the camera follows him down the street as he's running, but we couldn't really do it that day. So we just went, well, we'll just do Train Spotting one. But yeah, Reservoir Dogs was a influence. That one scene where he's running out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought I was like, because Reservoir Dogs. I remember I was actually going. I was going to film school at the time. Not that I made anything of it other than this podcast, but at the time, I remember it premiered, and my friend and I went and saw it. And I think we went back to the theater like 4 days in a row and kept seeing it. We were just
Oh, it's
I was
amazing.
obsessed with that movie.
I'll
Yeah,
say that is an
yeah, same.
underrated Tarantino movie. Everyone always kind of like forgets about that. I think also like pushes off to the side. Going, oh, this is his first movie. He quote unquote had no budget. I mean, it's just I mean, he has better movies than Reservoir Dogs, but I just feel like Reservoir Dogs gets overlooked. It's not appreciated.
Yeah, and I don't know why because it's look at the cast and look at the
I
I mean just
know.
the
I know. It's
the
great.
soundtrack is awesome.
it got overshadowed by Pulp Fiction, but
Yeah.
It did.
I've
Yeah.
always loved Reservoir Dogs. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. If you want to talk about underrated by him, Death Proof.
Oh yeah.
I
Oh,
love
yeah.
that movie.
I
I need
haven't
to
seen
see that
Death Proof
again.
in a
I haven't se
while.
Yeah, same here.
I went and
I've
saw
seen
it when it was the double
Yeah, the
feature with
Grindhouse.
Grindhouse. Yeah, but I don't think I've seen it since then. I'm definitely due for a rewatch of that.
I
Yeah,
have
'cause
the
a lot of
Blu-ray that
people.
shows it that way in the Grindhouse format. You can watch it back to back
Yeah.
with the things.
So we did too, but I don't really know because when it was shown in the theater, I know both of them, like that and Planet Terror, were only like an hour and a half each. So it was like a 3 hour thing. But every time that me and him have ever watched it, we've only ever watched the extended version, which is like 2 hours. And
Okay.
every time I watch it, I literally look at him after the movie and I'm like, what the hell could they have taken out of this movie? Like, because I've never watched the theatrical, I never have. And I'm like,
Same,
what is
same.
that the reason why like
It
people
doesn't line.
yeah, like don't like it as much? Like what did they take out? Because it doesn't feel like there literally could be basically even a scene, maybe like two scenes that they could have taken out.
Which might be part of the problem why it's not
Yeah.
regarded as well. Like he said, we've only ever watched the extended version.
Yeah.
But that's the one movie that everyone's always like, oh, that's Tarantino's worst movie. No, no, it's not. At least not the extended one. Like I said, I haven't seen the theatrical. Maybe I'd watch that and go, oh, eh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
want,
would I would go see it if they show it in like one of those like art theaters or something. They'll
Oh
have
yeah,
like
I
a
definitely.
yeah,
I would go
I
see
think
it.
I'd be there for any Tarantino movie except maybe Jackie Brown.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's one I saw in the theater. I don't it's the one I remember like probably the least.
It's the one Tarantino film I've never seen. I still to
Really? You
this
haven't
day have
seen it?
not seen
I'm
Jackie
not the
Wow.
Brown.
biggest fan. I know
Yeah.
that he said that. So yeah, I mean we're both not the biggest fan of it. I mean it's
It's
definitely
not
for
awful or anything. It's just not.
it's not for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny you said that. That's like a slogan in our little like so we have a friend of ours and he was one time bashing something and like one of our other friends who's actually she's an actress, she kind of said she goes, I try not to bash things. Maybe say it like it's not for me. And so now it's like this running joke. So it's funny that you said that verbatim because that's what we literally use that now for everything. We're like,
I'll say
yeah,
there's
it's
some
not for
things.
me.
that I'm definitely like, oh, it's not for me. But there's some things like I just can't help but bash it sometimes. There's just it's like no, for me it's just scorched earth almost.
Yeah, no, there's been a couple
Yeah.
where I've said like, look, I
Yeah.
try not to, like, because I was doing a thing once where I was trying to do, because at one point I lived in Amityville, Long Island, so
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna try and watch every single Amity movie. The problem is they keep growing faster than you could watch them. Like, literally, we're coming out with like 6 a year of these. Like, some were just so bad because they didn't even have a story. It wasn't even that they were like, you can give me a $1 budget and I probably enjoy the movie, and if it's good, but like some of these things, it didn't even make sense to have the Amityville title on it. Like, why is it Amityville? Just so it'll sell? You know,
It's
it's like,
almost like the American Psycho 2.
ever, yeah. I don't even think I
Clearly,
finished that
was
movie.
just a name slapped on
Oh,
to make money.
what about S Darko?
Oh yeah, or S Darko. If you guys ever heard of that, the Donnie Darko
No.
sequel.
Oh
No, I didn't even know there
no.
was one.
It is terrible. It follows his sister, and the same sort of thing happens.
It's
her.
yeah, it's
And Frank is in it again, but might as well not even be called Frank because he's not. He looks nothing. He's not even in. What's his? Is it like a rustic bunny mask or something?
yeah, it's
So weird. Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah. So but yeah, we try and basically like try and be diplomatic because one thing I like we know how hard it is to make a movie, so it's like and it's like I will never like I try not to
yeah.
to bash something unless it like truly deserves it. And we
That's
have a
how
running
I am
joke.
too.
We have a running joke with Tim where I have to say, like, I was cracking up at your because I watched your Halloween one, the night he comes home, and
Yeah.
like when you started talking, and she says to you about she goes, "Oh, let's watch Halloween Ends," and you're like, and like because that's where we developed the moniker of Red Tim, where he gets
I
very
went on
angry
a bit
about
of a
that one.
rant with that one. Like, and
So,
that's where Red Tim came from.
Halloween Ends.
We have such a love hate relationship.
So
movie.
when I first saw it, because I saw it in theater, I hated it. I was so pissed. I was like, they made Michael Myers a bitch because he gets beat up by a kid who got
Yeah,
beat up
that's
by
exactly what
band
Tim
kids.
said.
So it's like, and they make him and the thing is, I've heard the argument where it's like, because people were like going, oh, the screen time was like, well, actually in Halloween 1, he was in it for like a minute less. It's like, but it's how you use a character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Personally,
not.
he was used
good
as an
use.
overshadowing ghost, a force of nature, not to be messed with.
Yeah.
In Halloween Ends, he's some old punk in his sewer drain.
Yeah, hiding.
No, but
Yeah.
even worse, they set it up in Halloween Kills that he was this badass that could take on a whole mob of people, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
he can't.
Yeah, he just gets like nerfed completely.
My biggest gripe with that movie is the fact that like with Laurie, nothing makes no sense because in Halloween 2018, which is an amazing movie, she's literally like Michael is literally in jail. He's in prison.
Hasn't
and
escaped for 40 years.
She is like locked in like she has a beautiful like
compound.
Yeah. And then in Halloween Ends, he's gone. No one knows where he is. He's obviously going to come back, but
killed her
just
daughter.
Yeah, he killed her daughter, but she's just living in a little house with her granddaughter. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, it's weird. It was
Oh my
very
God.
and it's weird because the fact that it was the same writer and director throughout, it shouldn't have been as disjointed. And my biggest gripe is I'm like, the second one seems like that should have been the way that kind of went
It
should have been the
does.
third
Yeah.
one. It was very you
Yep.
can't introduce so much new in a finale that's supposed to end 40 plus years
Well,
of
I've always said movies they don't have to make sense in terms of the real world, but they need to be consistent within their own. Like if they set up the rules in their movie, they have to follow the rules of their own movie. You
They
can't
gotta
break the
follow
rules
through.
of your own movie.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm starting to go on Red Tim rant. I'll stop now.
But
we don't have the full day to go
we don't
through
have
this
we
again
don't have
with
4
it, yeah.
hours for Tim's Halloween Ends.
Halloween Ends though, I've grown to love it, and like not in that way though. I've grown to love it in a drunk movie way because I'm telling you right now, something that you will notice if you notice in all of our movies, and it will continue the tradition. There is a Corey in every single one of our movies, and that is the reason why.
Wow.
Oh, that's great.
That is the reason why.
I kind of feel bad for him because he got like the
he's a great actor.
He's not the problem in that movie.
He's not.
No. He's a wonderful actor.
He did a great job for what they gave him. And it's not his fault. You know, it's like, and he got so much garbage for that. I'm like, why are you blaming him? He didn't write the thing. He took a
No.
job, you know? And
Halloween
it's like,
Ends
who wouldn't
is,
take
in
a
my
Halloween job?
opinion, very much a Halloween season of the witch. In where if you took out the Halloween title, you took out Michael Myers, you changed Laurie to Old Granny, you change a few names around to say, hey, it's the Pasadena Killer.
Yeah.
And it's some old guy, and Corey goes in and beats up some random nobody we know, steals his mask, and you start the movie like that. I think it would actually work. You just got to take away the Halloween, the Michael Myers. You got to take away the franchise everybody loves.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
make it
it would
something
have been a
completely
cool
different.
story. Yeah,
Yeah.
it could have been a
Just like
cool
Season of
story.
the
You're
Witch.
right.
All you gotta do is just take out that Halloween title and just read Season of the Witch, and it's an awesome 80s horror movie.
Season of the Witch is awesome too, though. I
Yeah.
love that one.
Yes.
Oh, I love
yes.
no, I love, and that was one. It's funny because I remember back, like I was a kid when that came out, and so I remember I was at the time when people were like rioting, like, "Where's Michael Myers? Why is this Halloween? What
Hey,
is
he's on the
this?"
TV.
Yeah, he is on the TV, and technically, you hear his what's her face's voice in it.
Yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis's voice is in there, and so is and the other one, Nancy Keys. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, but it's like, but I remember the backlash then, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's it," and then it was, then they stopped, and then I remember seeing there used to be this show on Friday nights on some kind of like, I think it was like some kind of either a weird cable station or a UHF station where it was just a half hour of movie trailers, and I used to watch it every Friday night. It was on at like 11:30, and I remember when they showed the ad for Halloween 4, and I like almost jumped off the couch. I was like, "Oh my god, finally!" It's like
The
they're coming
trailer
back,
for
and
Season of the Witch was terrifying. I remember
it
I remember
was,
seeing
yeah.
that when it came out on TV as a kid, and it like
Yeah,
scared the
zooms out like
crap
the
out of
witch
me.
face.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it scared me so bad. Like that's like scarred me. But I did not like Halloween 3 when I first saw it, and it wasn't until I bought the Blu-ray set, the big one that came out with all the Halloweens in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm religious about, I watch all the commentaries, I watch all the
Oh, so
extras.
yep.
So I went into Halloween 3 and I was like, oh god, here we go. So I watched the movie, I was like, yeah, it's all right. And then I kept watching the commentaries because it had like 2 or 3 commentaries, and every time I watched the commentary, I started liking the movie more and more. And by the time I got through all the extras, I was like, dang, this movie's awesome. Like, why did I ever hate it? It's just one of those that had to
Yeah.
grow on me, I guess.
So-
I don't think you can hate a movie with Tom Atkins in it anymore. That's
No,
just
never,
can't.
never.
Man.
I mean, that
Tom
guy's.
Atkins finds a way to always have a girlfriend like half his age.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
man, he's a
yeah.
player.
Always.
He's a player.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
Guys
is.
like-
Star.
Gotta respect him, right?
I mean, The
Yeah.
Fog, even like in The Fog, he has, he hooks up with
Yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis, which I
He's,
think is hilarious if you think about that. Like, he still hooks up with like some Halloween act. It's like, but so it's like, it's funny. Like, to me, I'm like, yeah, like, I cry and like try and be like, like diplomatic about my Halloween Ends hatred, because I think it's not that I hate the movie as a movie. I hate the way, like, where it was in the timeline. Like, it should not have been the final finale of this timeline of Halloween. It just
as messed up as it is. I honestly, in my heart of hearts, believe I think I would like the movie more if in the first 5 minutes somehow Michael died. Like
well,
definitively.
yeah, that
Mhm.
would, but see,
And
that
then
would
you just
make
follow
sense at
Corey.
least.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
he's the new Michael Myers.
Yeah,
or
I
something.
think
Yeah.
everyone still would have had a pissy fit and been outraged, but I think the movie would have been better story within the universe if you just kill Michael, he has a heart attack in the sewer, some guy comes in, steals his mask, and just go from there.
Yeah.
Because it could have had that, like, okay, look, Lori is just, there's something about her, she's never going to be free of this torment kind of thing. But it's not like, it's like, and the way they advertise is the final battle you've been waiting so many years for. And I'm
That
like,
battle sucked ass.
yeah, it wasn't
I mean,
even like,
my favorite part was when Michael rips his hand from the knife, grabs her throat, and sees a flashback to me. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. The rest of
Yeah.
it, though, I was like, we waited 40 years for a fight like this? Really? There was a better fight in 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they
Yeah,
kind of
well-
ruined. I thought they ruined like the character of Allison. She wasn't the same.
She acted completely different.
Yeah.
Like completely
Yeah.
different. It was weird. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah,
I do want to ask you guys a fun
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
yeah.
So we actually have 2 fun questions.
All right.
Okay.
The first fun question is, if you had access to unlimited budget, what type of movie would you make? Unlimited budget, unlimited cast, whatever.
Everything. Like basically, the spirit of this question is like, even with all the money in the world, but if like you could get any actor, they would automatically agree. Everything would be
Alright.
just
Your answer.
handed
So I
to you.
have I have a few answers, and I know that's such a cheat. But I've always wanted to make an action movie, but I think that's like the only movie that you like type of movie you need a budget for. I really do. Because if you try and do an action, there's only so many times, unless it's like an old western, that say me and Ethan could fight each other in a hand to hand before you gotta go, okay, move on, what's next? So maybe an action movie, but if I could have any license, I would love to make a Batman Beyond movie. I'm a big comic book guy.
Oh, me too. I'm a
Yeah.
huge Batman fan.
I would
Yeah,
Huge.
love
Tim's
to make
like,
a Batman Beyond movie.
Yeah, with Michael Keaton, perhaps. You
Yeah,
know,
Michael Keaton as
Oh,
old
don't
Bruce
know
yeah.
why
Wayne.
they haven't
Yes.
done that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I dream of making a Batman Beyond movie. And are you guys a Star Wars fan at all?
Oh
Oh,
God,
yeah.
Brian's. I mean, we're both are, but Brian's like way,
Yeah, I'm
way
like
I
beyond.
would love to make a Solo 2 movie.
Yeah.
I think that's a movie that got the short end of the
shaft.
stick because of The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
I have a certain scene in my mind I would love to film for a Solo 2. But
I actually like Solo. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
Solo's
didn't
good.
think it was that bad. I liked it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
I
don't know
would
why the hate for it was, but I think it was just the timing of it. It was like so much was coming out at one point, and there was just too much of it. I think so it hit people the wrong way. But I mean, I'm also like one I'll defend like the sequels, even though Tim does not like them as much as me. But I'll defend them because I'm one of these people that I still like the Star Wars, just everything Star Wars. I'll like. There's very few Star Wars things I'll like. And look at the like right when the prequels came out, people despised them, right? And now
Yeah,
everyone's
now
all
they're
of a sudden
loved.
like loving them, and I'm like. So what? It just you need a distance from it, I guess. Maybe I don't know, but so
I
maybe
think
people
one of
feel that.
its distance, and so I love Star Wars Force Awakens. I hate Last Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker is meh to me. I think a lot of people look at the sequel trilogy and went, okay, without George Lucas, this is Star Wars. Yeah, those prequels weren't really that bad. Because you're starting to see the hate for Jar Jar is turning all around. The same people who hated Jar Jar are now going, I would kill to see Jar Jar again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I
and
think
that
Jar
was
Jar
the
back.
it was funny because I told Tim, I said some kind of sorry, my dog is barking because my wife just got home. So until she comes and gets him in the room, he's gonna he might bark a little bit. But so he got I kind of said like at some level, Rise of Skywalker was like slightly you can compare it to Halloween Ends how they tried to introduce like too many things in that
yeah,
last
last minute.
chapter.
Yeah.
And it's funny you brought that we brought Star Wars up because I just bought a book. It's called I Could Fix That Movie. And I just flipped it open to see what and one of the first things it said Rise of Skywalker, and it goes through how you could fix
Damn.
movies. It
Yeah.
looks like
Oh,
a
that
really
sounds
cool book.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send
Yeah.
you the
That's cool.
link to that. I'll send you guys
Yeah,
too. I
that
just got
sounds
it from
cool.
Amazon. It's like $10 or something. And it's a small book, but I figured that'd be kind of cool to read just to see how that is. And
Yeah.
it's funny. I may hope this doesn't make it worse for you guys that aren't big fans of Rise of Skywalker, but someone pointed out something and now I can't unsee it. And it as much as I still kind of love that movie, there's a part that bothers me. After Kylo Ren's and he comes back, he redeems himself as Ben, and he's talking to Han Solo on the
Yeah.
the Death Star remains, and he leaves. He never has another line in the rest of the movie, and I didn't notice it the first time I saw it, or the
Yeah, he
second,
doesn't.
third time.
No.
He does not say another
Because
line.
he
I'm
doesn't
like,
say anything
how
to
do they not
Rey.
have him have another line?
Yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah, to answer your question, I think if I could have unlimited budget, unlimited resources, and any IP, I think right now if someone came to me, I'd go Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
That
Well,
would be
you know
so
what?
cool.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna go on since we're talking comic booky and you got me thinking on that wavelength. I would make a faithful Spawn
Oh,
movie that
Oh, yeah.
Oh
actually,
yeah.
like I would base it a lot off of the comics, but also
Animated.
the animated series is amazing. I love have you guys ever watched
I've
the
never
Spawn
seen that.
animated series?
I've
I
never
saw
seen
the
the
movie, and
animated.
I remember I saw the movie in the theater. Was like so
No,
excited. And I
the
was just like,
movie is no.
I was
The
like,
movie
yeah.
is
No,
animated.
the HBO animated series, it's on Mac.
It is
You
awesome.
guys should watch it. You would absolutely love it.
I didn't know
I
that. I
do
didn't
need to
even know
watch
about
a
that. Yeah, I need to
series.
watch
Yeah.
that.
Dude, it's 3 seasons. It's so good.
Yeah,
And
it
they're
is.
like 5 episodes each. They're like
6.
6 episodes each season, and they're like 20 minutes each.
Did you guys watch Creature Commandos yet?
I did.
I have not.
I really liked the Creature Commandos. That was pretty cool.
I'm gonna steal your tagline. It wasn't for me.
Oh, okay.
We'll leave it at that. But it wasn't for me.
Well, it's definitely. I will give you this. It's definitely very heavy James Gunn, like very
Oh, yeah.
heavy.
Which I don't. So I like Guardians 1. I like Guardians 2 is meh. Guardians 3 I really like. I really like the Suicide Squad movie, his version, and I
Yeah.
really like Peacemaker. What I'm seeing from Superman, I'm hoping I'm wrong. I really am. 'Cause I'm a big superhero fan, big DC guy.
Yeah.
So far, I don't see the vision, but I'm not one of those people going, "It's going to be awful. It's going to flop," because I haven't seen it yet. And to be honest, like I said, that's 5 movies right there that I actually enjoy from him. Or in a TV show.
I like the
Yeah.
fact that it seems like he's trying to do something different in the sense that he's not trying to like do the whole origin story over again, which is nice.
It was nice
but,
for Man of Steel, but
yeah, but I really like with the amount of people that I've seen how they're like, oh, this guy's gonna be in this movie and this guy's gonna be in this movie. There's so many characters in this. I just hope that he has a really, I don't know, good balance with these characters. He's introducing a lot.
If I had to rate the movie, which obviously no one has seen except for a few DC execs and people like that, based off the trailer, I would say not for me.
Oh. Well, see, here's
like
the
I
thing.
said, but I'm hoping I'm wrong. I really am hoping I'm wrong.
Yeah, see, I was one that was a little. I was disappointed with Man of Steel, but I was also grew up in the Christopher Reeve Superman movies. So I have to say, when I saw the trailer to James Gunn's and it had the music, the John Williams score in it, I was like, oh, I kind of got chills from that. I'm like, oh, please, because I was also one, and I might be in the minority, but I think Tim, you're with me on this, who loves Superman Returns actually.
Yeah, I like that movie.
Yeah,
I love Superman Returns. Yeah,
I thought that got shit on for so many unfair reasons. I don't know why, and I thought it was great, but
I think that's a movie that, since they were trying to keep up the Christopher Reeve kind of timeline, I think it was destined to fail. Just because everyone was like, "Well, if it's not Christopher Reeve, it's not my Superman." Because he was the first. Yeah, besides like Dean Cain, Tom Welling, the first live action movie.
Yep.
Superman. I think a lot of people were. I think if they had just rebooted, said this is a different timeline. Here's this new Superman. I think it would have done better.
Yeah, I think there was definitely some backlash against it being Christopher Reeve-ish, and now people are wanting that back. That's like,
I know. It's like by the way, that's what
they want.
if you haven't seen it, that's an amazing documentary on him, the Superman one.
I've seen it.
Oh, yeah, I still need to watch that.
Oh, that's a fantastic
that was such a good documentary.
So
it's really good.
The second fun question, like, kind of ties into that. So you guys might have kind of double answered it, but this is specifically around if you could remake a movie, what would it be?
Oh, that's hard. I'm pretty sure my answer would be your answer because it hasn't been a Batman Beyond movie yet, so I'm still safe with my first one.
Yeah.
Oh, remake a movie. That's so hard because there's a lot of movies I would like to do my own flair on, but then it's like, but do I ruin it? And that's what I'm afraid. You know what? If I wouldn't remake a Spawn movie, I'd remake Joker 2.
Yes, I just saw that.
I
haven't watched
what
that.
Did I just watch?
That's what I was kind of thinking of because that
I would change 99.9% of that movie for sure.
Yeah.
And I would tie it in to make a third movie. Because I've thought about this before. I would definitely make the second movie introduce Harley Quinn, introduce some elements there. No singing,
no musical.
And then I'd have the third movie pretty much wrap it up, but then maybe at the end kind of tease Batman. And I would end the third movie with the first movie's ending of him in the White Room. Because I've always been one to believe that that ending, where he's like, it's a joke, you wouldn't get it, is in the future when Batman already exists.
Mm-hmm.
Now, see,
that's interesting.
Joker falling ado negates everything I just said because Arthur dies. But I came up with this theory, and a lot of other people too, way before this movie came out. I've always believed that Arthur in that White Room is after Batman already exists. So I sees the vision of Bruce's parents. He's like, I made you, and now you beat the crap out of me every night. It's a funny joke. To Joker, obviously everyone else would go, what? But Joker, with his sick sense of humor, would think that.
Is it like the Joker never really dies? Like that's the whole thing, you know?
That's what a lot of people say. But because the original script, because you can find it online, the original Joker script at the end is pretty much the same. Except he says it's a joke between me and him. You wouldn't get it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if you had kept that in, you could easily say, okay, that's him in the future. He already knows Batman's Bruce, so he's put it together, and that's why he finds it funny. But I would I would change Joker 2, introduce Harley Quinn. Joker 3, have something go on at the end, kind of tease Batman, but end it with the first ending of him in the White Room to kind of go, okay, here you go, here's your complete Joker story. That's the movie I'd remake, but just because I want to change like 99% of it.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen I
honestly.
haven't watched it yet, but David Howard Thornton did one, a short Joker
Yep,
film.
I did watch it.
Open up.
it's good.
Yeah, it's pretty
It's
good.
good.
Yeah,
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 I'm
he
gonna
does
watch.
a
That
good
was one
job.
of the things I have to watch this weekend. I have on my radar to
I'll
watch.
say I've met David Howard Thornton. He's a really cool guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Also,
he's awesome. Yeah.
I meant to say this earlier, but we kind of lost track. We've both met Tom Atkins before.
Yes,
Oh,
and
Oh, see, I
nice.
haven't
have
met Tom Atkins.
I
Yeah,
have
he
met
always
John
is at the
Carpenter
con I
too.
don't go to. He's always at the convention I just miss for some reason.
Yeah. Oh, so you met John Carpenter?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
That's
I
awesome.
met him right before 2018 came out, and I kind of like asked him about it because I knew he was involved, and he was like, I mainly just wanted to ask him because I didn't know what to expect if it was going to be good, basically, and he was like, "You're gonna like it," and I was like, "Okay." So I had faith after that. I was like, "Okay, I can officially be excited for this film," um, and yeah, but
Yeah, that was
yeah,
the 2018 one you're talking about?
yep.
Yeah, it was funny because I saw that. I got for that one and Halloween Kills, I got just out of like a random thing on the thing, I got invited to one of those test screenings for
Yeah.
both of those. So I had seen it and I had to wait like 8 months to tell Tim about it. I couldn't even talk
Brian
about
would
it
not
because
even, I mean, because he signed an NDA, but he would not even tell me. And I was like, I'm
Now
not going
that
to tell
the
anybody.
NDA
But
is expired, did
yeah.
you get to see the original ending in 2018?
well, yeah, the thing is I so long ago now I don't remember the much of the difference of it. I just remember there was some stuff cut out from the version that I saw
Because
that
I know
ended up
the
coming out.
So I know the original 2018 had them fight in the woods, fight throughout the house. Laurie and Michael were implied to die because originally 2018 was going to be a standalone one and done. But then Blumhouse saw the money they were
Yeah.
going to make. And I'm happy they made Halloween Kills because I really like that movie.
Yeah.
But so I know that the original ending was a lot different. For some reason, they will not release it.
Yeah, no, when I saw it, it was that ending was pretty much the same. Where he was in the thing, she got out and and he was burning in the thing, and then they had the breathing at the whole thing.
Yeah,
Like,
so that's a lot different than the quote unquote original ending
yeah,
that
see, I didn't see
no
that
one
early of a
sees.
test screening. Well, actually, mine was over the summer, so it was only about maybe like 5 months, right? Or
Yeah.
is that the one that got delayed? Like, then it got delayed a whole. No,
I
no, it
don't
was before
remember.
COVID.
No,
It was
Kills is the one that
Kills that
got
got
delayed.
delayed the whole year, and I had
Yeah.
seen that, and that was driving me crazy because I had to wait extra to see that because of
I'll say because
COVID.
if you watch some of the Halloween 2018 trailers and TV spots, you can see clips of the original ending and then fight like in our front yard.
Oh, I don't think
But
I
that's all
realized
you
that one.
have. If you go and watch, you can see certain scenes. You're like, that's not there. And you see like Lori like with a knife like this. You kind of see Michael in the woods, but that's it. Other than that, Blumhouse won't release it. No one will talk to anybody about what the ending was. We kind of have hints and rumors of what some people said, but you don't know how true that is. But
Yeah.
I would love to
Well,
see it.
I do know if for Halloween Kills, there was a lot more mob scenes in the hospital that was there because I remember watching that and saying, "Oh my god!" In the theater, I'm like, "All right, this is on a lot now with the Evil Dies Tonight, Evil Dies Tonight."
It
I
already had
swear to
too
God,
much of that.
they had, yeah. And but when I watched it again, when it finally was released again, I'm like, "Oh, I think they trimmed that because I don't remember I remember being much longer and me wanting that sequence to just move
And
on already,
yeah,
like move forward
yeah,
there with it." But I just think that the funniest thing with Halloween Kills is how they thought that little dude was Michael Myers, that little thing running
yeah,
around.
What some
Like they
people
really
call
thought
the
that was him,
penguin.
yeah,
The
I mean, I know you
penguin.
haven't seen him in a while, most of the people, but come on. I mean, this guy was like half his
yeah. He didn't
size.
shrink.
No.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I know you get like when you get older, you hunched over, but I mean, that's
Yeah, but
ridiculous.
no, I don't know how anyone would have looked at that and been like, "This feeble old guy is Michael Myers."
Yeah.
So on the same topic as horror movies again, with our next film that we are making, we actually brought something today to show for a little tease, but I know that obviously this is just going to be audio, so I guess we will
Describe.
describe it to the listener. But we
Cool.
As long as
actually
Tim and I get
brought.
to see it, we don't care about our
Yeah, we don't
listeners.
care
No,
about
I'm
the
kidding.
listeners. Come on.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we brought the killer's mask.
So we're gonna use the
Oh,
mask,
nice.
Oh, okay.
which
Oh,
is
that's
something
cool.
that it was a pre-existing mask, but since it got kind of melted, I cut a lot of it off and repainted it. I think you guys are gonna realize where I got the paint scheme from,
Yeah.
especially what we've talked about. But here it is.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
that's
cool.
really cool.
It's like
And
Yeah,
throughout the
Tim's a big
course,
mask guy because he buys a
Yes.
yearly mask.
Oh, I gotta show you my mask. Hang on. I'll show you
I'm
my
a big mask guy too, so that's perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, every year Tim buys an
2 years
official
ago, I
mask.
started a tradition. I'm going to buy a mask every year. So let me give me a second. I'll pull this.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Over the course of the film, the mask may change in the way that it looks, though.
Nice.
In some way, shape,
Well,
or
yeah.
form.
Well, you guys are filming, dude. If you definitely want to send us like clips and stuff, we'll
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
help promote it all
Okay,
day.
sure. Whoa.
That's the first guy I bought. This is kind of like a takeoff on The Strain or one of those vampire movies, but he's pretty cool.
That does look good.
Yeah. And then the second one I bought last year, Twisted Scarecrow guy, which I really like.
Oh, wait,
That
isn't
looks-
that the one that Steve or no has?
I love that.
We know somebody with that mask.
Yeah, I mean this was a Spirit Halloween. It wasn't expensive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then that it probably is because of that. But yeah,
But it
that's
does
cool
look
mask.
cool.
Yeah.
So I'm obviously, as you guys can probably tell, a big Michael fan. So I've got tons of Michael masks. My one goal is to have every mask signed by every actor that performed as Myers.
Oh, that would be cool.
I'm so pissed because I had a Halloween 1 mask. It was a week away because I was going to meet Jim Winberg, who's the Michael Myers who did the fall off the deck in '78.
I was going to say because there's like what is it like technically like 18 people played him, right?
Yeah.
So we had like
Jim
a trivia
Winberg-
question on that one.
Jim Winberg died 1 week before I was supposed to meet him for him to sign my mask. So I bought tickets to that convention. I went out, bought the mask, everything. And I was like, are you kidding me? And I did get George P. Wilbur sign an H6 mask. Unfortunately, he passed because he stopped doing conventions right before he died. Because I wanted him to sign a Halloween 4 mask, but what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Oh, real quick, while we're on Halloween, we got to ask, where are you stand on the Rob Zombie Halloweens?
All right, so there was actually another
Might
podcast.
be Red Tim again, but still. I don't know.
there was another podcast that we were on that actually asked us about this.
Halloween. I'll start with the easier answer. Halloween 2 Rob Zombie, I hate as a movie. I hate pretty much everything about it, except it's got some cool visuals.
And the first 7 minutes, the dream sequence
is really
pretty cool. I got really excited
like that,
and then really disappointed really quick.
Yeah. Halloween 1 Rob Zombie. I would make a mix of the two versions because I hate the way that Michael escapes in the director's cut.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that version.
Yeah.
I love how he escapes in the theatrical cut when he beats up all the guards.
Yeah.
So I think if you could take both versions, the theatrical and the unrated, and mix them together, it'd be a really good movie. I'm one who prefers the killer's origin not really be answered, but I sound so much like a hypocrite because then I love Halloween 6.
But
so
I'm
like a hypocrite. I'm like, I hate that, but I love Halloween 6. But you guys just explain Michael Myers.
They didn't really execute it properly, but I don't hate it by any means.
No,
you know what it was is. I just think it's like I'm one to you. I think it's scary when you don't know the motive and you don't know why he's the way he is. But at the same time, I think it would be okay. Except I think there was just too much like I don't think you needed to make the whole so much family drama affecting.
Yeah,
I
don't
think
that was really as a kid. I don't want to see him as a kid.
As everyone knows, Rob Zombie kind of likes that hillbilly Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of redneck thing. That's his thing. I would say if you cut maybe 10 minutes of Michael's kid origin out, it would be better. Just take 10 minutes randomly, wherever you can, and just take it out. I think it'd be better, but I mean, I think the other reason why I don't hate it as much is I'm like, okay, cool, that's what he did here. But at the end of the day, I can always go back to '78, which is my preferred Halloween.
Yeah.
At no time am I forced that I have to watch Rob Zombie and go, this is what Michael Myers is. I just go, you know what? I don't like that part. I'm just gonna go watch Halloween '78.
Well, see, my biggest gripe with the whole thing where he's with the kid is so I think when you watch the '78 one, right? You find out that the guy that just killed slaughtered his sister was this tiny little kid. It's shocking, right? When you first see it, and it's whoa! It is. In this, you expect him to be a crazy person. You expect him to develop that way. You took away I think you took away the shock value.
The kid from 5 Kids with a stick,
and then there's that weird scene where he creepily touches his sister before he kills her.
It's just.
Well, I tell you that I did like. I'm right there with you. Exactly, that's spot on. That's what I think about. I hate Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 for the most part. The one good thing I will say about the Rob Zombie Halloweens is he had some absolutely brutal kills. The violence and stuff was awesome.
The scene with Michael where he's going after Laurie in the first movie. and he's mashing
The ceiling.
Yeah.
When that's a really cool.
That is an awesome scene. Have you guys ever seen the original work print version of Halloween 2007?
No.
Is it on like a Blu-ray or something? I may have if only
Are
if
you
it's
talking
on
about
an
those
extra.
DVDs we have?
I think they did finally release it, I believe, because there was a different way Michael was going to go out, and he was actually going to die in the first one. I don't know if you guys have seen this, so I'll just kind of
I may
explain
not
it
have
quickly.
seen it. Yeah.
But he was going inside his house with Lori, and then Loomis pretty much comes outside and like begs him. Like this didn't have like the pool scene or anything where he gets shot into the pool, and pretty much begs Michael to stop. Michael actually stops, and the cops, the whole Haddonfield police, just open fire with him, and he dies in front of his house.
See,
I don't
that'd
think
be
I've
actually a
seen
pretty
that.
good ending, though.
Yeah, he
I
gets
kind of
gunned
like that
down, and
ending.
I like that ending because not Michael. Dr. Loomis even yells at the cops to like stop shooting him because he's dead. He actually like dropped the knife. Like he wasn't
listened.
a threat. Yeah.
But
Because he
it's
actually
definitely
listened to Loomis.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I feel like this one had like the Loomis had more of like a care for Myers. Like,
Yeah,
like Donald
yeah,
Pleasance like was like he's
Yeah,
evil, we're
he
killing
needs to
him.
die.
Yeah, that's the one
Yeah.
thing I did like about the theatrical, or not theatrical, it's in both of Rob Zombie's official Halloween ones, is when he shoots Mike when he's going to the pool, he begs him to stop. And then
Yeah.
he finally shoots him like once or twice, and then he's still pleading with him to stop.
Yeah.
Where then, as in Halloween 78, Loomis unloads that revolver as fast as he can.
Yeah. Like
And
he
I think
knows that he's
and he
evil
even
and he
pulls the trigger because he wanted to shoot him again, but then he ran out of bullets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I
He
mean, it's
shot him
definitely
7.
that's why I appreciate Rob Zombie for trying to give it a different, more like a different quality to it. But I mean,
Now-
still, if I'm gonna, like I prefer like the timeline. And it's so funny because now the timeline is so convoluted. Like
Oh,
with that, it's like,
yeah.
I mean, to
Yeah.
watch you would literally have to watch 3 different timelines. Like there's
I
the,
think
the
one of the things that I didn't like about the first Halloween Rob Zombie is Lori. I was not the biggest fan of the like just the I don't know. I feel
her
like
being like, I would say sexual.
well, not I don't even know that. Just she's just
Intuitive?
very
Bouncy.
strange. I mean, no one's gonna beat Jamie Lee Curtis, but
Right,
like
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like she didn't really. I don't know.
I don't
try.
I don't mind that, Lori, to be honest, because once you kind of figure out that his movie takes place in 2007, no teenager girl, even if she is meant to be the virgin, talks like Jamie Lee Curtis did in the first 78.
Yeah.
So
That is
I
true,
don't mind
yeah.
it as much because I kind of go, okay, well, in this version, Judith got killed in the 90s, and then Michael's on loose in 2007. People don't act the same
That's true.
as people did in 1978. People are a lot less, I would say, proper, less well mannered. So it's like I can see where it's like, okay, well, in that timeline, people acted, they mirrored their time.
Yeah.
She acts like most 70s high schoolers, where in 2007, most high schoolers aren't all dressed up, carrying tons of books. Even the nerdy ones are still, even the nerdy ones are still saying stuff that's like the 70s Lori would never say, ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I
no,
think it's
and
all based on when the story takes place, depends on how characters act.
yeah, no, I agree. And I was gonna say, like, actually, the one thing I did like about Halloween 2 is I thought that's where Laurie kind of made more sense after what she was through, what she went through. It made like, and I didn't see the theatrical one. I saw the one that they released at home, which I know is drastically different. I guess they said, but like, I thought the way she played her, like, all screwed up and like rebellion and like because she would have had like, this
That's how it would be in real
derangement.
life.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, I
like,
didn't have a problem with that part of it.
yeah.
Now,
What
I'll be honest,
about Michael
I had a problem with that part, but I can also take a step back and go, okay, in real life, the likelihood of them moving on,
Yeah.
or even at least being in like Halloween 20 in Halloween H2O where you're just an alcoholic, it is possible, it really is, but I can also see somebody going down the spiral of addicted to pills, drugs, acting like her. So it's not like I'm going, oh my god, it's so unrealistic. It's actually very realistic. It's not what I would have wanted for my main character.
Yeah.
I feel like Rob Zombie tried to add a lot of realism to it. Too much is what happened. I think he added too much realism.
Yeah.
In the end, but it is.
But
what
it's
it
a
is.
take. It's a take. So
and
I mean, we're gonna get another Halloween. We're getting more Halloweens coming out at some point, whether it's a movie or a show. We're gonna have a whole new series
a
of
new
complaints.
Timeline, maybe.
Yeah,
I kind of that's what's kind of frustrating is like I feel like this last trilogy could have set this up for sequels galore, but now we basically have to reboot the whole thing again to make
And I
anything
think
make
at
any
this
sense.
point, although this is like almost impossible to say out loud, I think you almost have to leave 78 in the past now. Because as long as you're going to set it in our timeline, like in today, because Michael's going to be 60 pushing 70.
Yeah.
If Jamie Lee Curtis and them come back, it's going to be, you got the 70-year-old killer out there.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I think you almost have to like just do a fresh reboot from the ground up.
Just start from day one, which sucks because 78 is such a classic film, but it's aging out.
Yeah.
You got to leave the classics at some point, like to themselves. You know, you're not going to recreate the same thing anymore. They did. I thought like they did a great job with 2018 pulling that in and everything. But like after that, like I think like it needs to move on now. Like, and honestly, like I don't even think if there's a reboot, I think they should just start it like mid-story. We don't need the origin story anymore because everyone knows. You know what? Just start it like where he's already wreaking havoc and. You know, whatever.
I don't care if they don't even give any explanation. Just start it like in the middle of a killing spree, and I don't need any explanation of how this is a new timeline or whatever. Just start it. And
I mean, it's going to be the second someone whips out a phone and Michael isn't seen it with like a walker. It's going to be pretty easy to tell. It's not that time.
Yeah, as long as it's good, I'm all for it.
Yeah, no, I'm saying with you. But I guess we probably should wrap this up because I know Tim's got is short for time here. But so I guess we'll just finish up. So where can I guess we want to give you guys first of all, this was awesome. We had the best time talking
yes,
to
this
you.
was great,
like,
guys.
I love just like we totally went off like half the questions. We just had the conversation.
Oh, it's completely fine. I had
which is great.
Yeah,
and I'm sure like, and you guys are always, of course, welcome on anytime. Just give us the word, and we want to hear back of it.
When we start trying to push this movie, we'll definitely try to come back.
And I have a feeling once it's done and out, we're probably going to want to come on, especially
absolutely
talking to you guys.
There's
a lot of things that you guys say that we believe also in horror.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the things that we obviously agree and disagree, a lot of it we agree on.
Yeah.
So there's definitely, and like I said, our number one vibe is, it's not set in the 80s, so we don't want to spread, if you want to say that, misinformation.
Yeah.
But we're trying to take the vibe and feel of the 80s slasher movie.
Yes.
I love
Put that in modern day, but it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be in color, but we might put a nice little tint on it to make it look a little retro.
There you go.
Very nice.
Well,
so, but
we haven't finished writing it yet, so we'll see.
Yeah, so we'll see.
but before we let you go though, let listeners know where they could follow you guys. So I know you have the YouTube and then Instagram and stuff. So
yeah, so you can follow us on Instagram at ES Productions, and then on YouTube as well, and that's pretty much
it for now.
Yeah, it for now. We're gonna make a website at some point.
Nice.
But the YouTube is ES Productions. It's the same thing. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, and all the films are there, which is great, and some cool like little blooper reels and
we always do our blooper reels, and for this one, since it's a full length movie, we'll definitely make a trailer. Because mean, the Wretched was so short.
Yeah,
that was trailer for that. Yeah, exactly.
It's hard to make a trailer for like a 5-minute thing, but it's gonna be 5 seconds, you know.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for coming on. This was awesome. I love. I mean, anytime we get to talk with true blue horror fans, and it's freaking awesome. So
you know what, we'll have to actually invite you. Every so often, we like to do roundtables where we'll take a movie and just invite a bunch of people on, and we go through go around and just chat about it. Like we just did one for Nosferatu, so we'll have to do one coming up when we figure a cool movie, and if you guys have seen it,
if you guys ever want to do a roundtable, that'd be awesome. Yeah,
for sure.
That sounds real.
Yeah, we would be happy to come on.
Cool.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll let our listeners know about this. We'll put stuff in the show notes to let them know where to find you guys, and just keep in touch and come back on when you guys get closer to release. And keep us in mind when you both get rich and famous, because I have a feeling you got the drive.
All right. Thanks for having us.
Oh, and one request, because we always forget to ask people to do this. We always get we dream to see when we see go through Blu-ray releases, and they're like commentary by this podcast on the thing. So if you ever need an outside person to do a commentary on one of your future films, just remember us.
Once you guys got a job,
you guys are hired.
Okay, awesome.
Very nice.
All right, thank you for having us.
Yep.
You
guys have a good night.
Night.